Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of return trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under the deliberations in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen. Sergeant at Arms. Sergeant at Arms, I want to direct that you ring a quorum bell for 5 minutes. I can never be blind when I take the chair. Clerk, can you take us through the order of the day?
Order.
Point of order, Madam Chair.
What is your point of order, Honorable Seth?
Madam Chair, one, we always believe that the speaker is blind. And if she's not, like you've been, after the...
Honorable Seth, you are out of order.
I've not finished executing.
No, Honorable Seth, you are out of order. As a panelist, Honorable Seth, and a very senior panelist for that matter. Sit down, Honorable Seth.
After ringing the bell, you have to confirm.
Honorable Seth, sit down. Order, Honorable Seth. Order. Honorable members. Honorable members. Our manual is the standing orders, and standing order number 32.2 dictates that when a quorum is not present when the chair is taken, then the speaker shall call a quorum bell to be rung for the first 5 minutes. If no quorum is present after that, then the bell shall be rung for another 5 minutes. Honorable members, our quorum is 16, and we had to attain the 16 before we could transact. So I don't expect honorable members to debate on a simple issue as the issue of a quorum. So honorable members, I expect that we proceed, and the clerk, I direct that you take us through the order of the day.
Order paper number 163 of today, Wednesday, 20th March 2024 at 9 a.m.
Point of order, Madam Chair.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Honorable Zako Koy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, pursuant to the provision of orders number 182.6 of the standing orders, I wish to table today, Wednesday, 19th March 2024, a report on Labor and Social Welfare Services Committee on the benchmarking exercise at Migori County Assembly. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, I confirm receipt of the report on labor and social welfare on their benchmark exercise with Migori County Assembly. Next order.
Point of order, Madam Chair.
Order denied. Next order. Yeah? Honorable Wajewa. Honorable members, I know Honorable Seth is standing to raise a concern why this report has not been committed to the House business. I'm not committing it because it had already been presented to the House business. So it's coming from the House business. So Honorable Seth, Your concern is well taken care of. Order, Honorable Seth.
Madam Speaker.
No, order, honorable members, order.
Madam Speaker, let us just
Order.
Madam Speaker, please.
Order.
On a point of order, Madam
Order,
Chair.
Honorable Seth. Order, Honorable Seth. Order, Honorable Seth. Sergeant at arms. Honorable Seth, you are a very senior panelist, and I don't expect that you misbehave the way you do.
Madam Chair, I'm on a point of order.
Order denied, Honorable Seth.
But why?
Order denied, Honorable Seth. Honorable Wajewa, continue. Honorable Wajewa, you are laying.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Pursuant to the provision of orders number 182.6 of the standing orders, I wish to table today, Wednesday 19th, 2024, a report of the Trade, Tourism, Marketing and Industry Committee on the benchmarking exercise at Kisii County Assembly. Thank you so much.
Honorable Wajewa, where is your report? You need to table your report. You need to lay the paper, Honorable Wajewa. Honorable Wajewa.
On a point of order, Madam Chair. A point of order, Madam Chair.
Honorable Seth, what is your point of order?
Madam Chair, I think you noticed that from the time we started, we have been breaking the orders of the House. Madam Chair, from the time that you refused to raise the quorum to be confirmed, to now allowing a member to lay a paper that does not exist. Honorable Madam Speaker, you are setting a precedent that is not good for this House.
Honorable Seth, you've heard me asking Honorable Wajewa to lay the papers, and we are waiting for Honorable Wajewa to lay the paper. And if that paper has not been laid, honorable members, Honorable Wajewa, order, Honorable Wajewa. Honorable Wajewa, how could you stand to lay a paper that you didn't have?
Madam Speaker, I just left it in the, I thought I had it here and I left it in the lounge. I've just gone for it. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, I confirm receipt of the report on the benchmarking exercise of the Committee on Trade, Tourism, Marketing and Industry with the counterpart Assembly of Kisii. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Honorable
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, pursuant to the provision of orders number 45(1) of the standing orders, I wish to give a notice of motion that this House adopts a report of the Labor and Social Welfare Services Committee on the benchmarking exercise at Migori County Assembly. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Wajewa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, pursuant to the provision of orders number 45(1) of the standing orders, I wish to give a notice of motion that this House adopts a report of Trade, Tourism, Marketing, and Industry Committee on the benchmarking exercises at Kisumu County Assembly. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Yes, Honorable Peter Obaso, are you standing on a personal statement?
Exactly.
Hello?
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise on a personal statement. Mine is just to thank these honorable members for standing with me during the most difficult time in our lives. They offered me financial support, spiritual support, and emotional support. And I want to thank them for that. It was not easy for our family, but through their support, we were able to maneuver through. So thank you, honorable members. Thank you, the Third Assembly.
Members, is still statement hour. Honorable Seth, you are rising on a statement?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise on standing order number 42. Madam Speaker, as a first panelist, I have realized that you did not commit the laid reports for scheduling for discussion in the floor of the House. Madam Speaker, I'm looking at the current House business schedule that ends today, and neither of those reports are scheduled for any discussion. So without committing them to the House
Order,
business
Honorable
schedule,
Seth. Order, Honorable Seth.
then the
Order, Honorable Seth. Resume your seat. Honorable Seth, the reports that the papers that have been laid are emanating from the Committee of the House Business. They were discussed. Honorable Seth, order. The reports are coming from the House Business, and the committee had considered the papers for laying, and that is why the notices have been given. So, Honorable Seth, it's very procedural that when the reports have been considered by the committee of the whole House, then we don't have to, again, commit them because that's where they are coming from. So, Honorable Seth, that concern has already been taken care of. You can confirm with the clerk of the House Business, and I want to rule, Honorable Seth, that your order, you are out of order on that matter. Thank you. Honorable Seth, I've ruled on that matter. Next order. Next order. Order denied, Honorable Ochel.
Commencement of business. Order number 8, the Kisumu County Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2024, second reading.
Honorable Joachim Okech.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think today I'm the only person who is not out of order. Madam Speaker, I wish to beg that to move. Oh, sorry, let me read it again. Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the Kisumu County Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2024, that is Bill number 1 of 2024, be now read for the second time, Madam Speaker. And I request Honorable Seth Okumu to second. Thank you.
Honorable Seth. Clerk.
A bill for an act of the County Assembly of Kisumu to authorize the issue of certain sums of money out of the county revenue fund and the application towards the services of the year ending on the 30th June 2024, and to appropriate those sums for certain public services and purposes is now read a second time.
Yes, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also want to move that we revert to committee of the whole house, and I'd also wish to request the majority leader to second. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I wish to second that we revert to the committee of the whole house. Thank you.
Yawanganga.
Seth Kikori Chandwa, kaka ne channel speaker.
Let's call the House to order. Honourable members, we are the committee on hold, and we want to supply now in the appropriation bill. Actually, which standing order is that? 126. Honourable members, I'll take you through standing order number 126, the sequence to be observed on a bill in the committee. And it says, in considering a bill in committee, the various parts thereof shall be considered in the following sequence. Clauses as printed, excluding the clause providing for citation of the bill, the commencement, if any, and the interpretation, new clauses, schedules, new schedules, interpretations, preamble, long title, and the clauses providing for the citation of the bill and commencement. So honorable members, will start with the clauses as printed. Order, Sergeant Atam. Honorable Chair, I will be just a minute. I want to ask the clerk to read for us the clauses as printed in the bill.
Clause 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Honorable Chair.
No amendments, Mr. Chair, from the committee.
Thank you, Chair. There being no amendments from the committee. Honorable members, any amendments on clause 2, 3, 4, and 5? There being no amendment, I propose to put a question that clause 2, 3, 4, and 5 be part of the bill. As many as of the opinion say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay. Thank you, honorable members. And now put the question that clause 2, 3, 4, 5 be part of the bill. Next, clerk.
We are in the schedules. First schedule.
Honorable Chair.
No amendments on the first schedule.
Honorable members, there being no amendments from the committee, I now propose to put a question that the first schedule as proposed be part of the bill. As many as the opinion say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay. Thank you, honorable members. I now propose to put a question that the first schedule be part of the bill. Mr. Clerk, Madam Clerk, next.
The title.
Honorable Chair.
Mr. Chair, no amendments on the title. Thank you.
There being no amendment proposed by the committee on the title of the bill, I now put a question that the title be part of the bill. As many as of the opinion say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it, and now I put the question that the title be part of the bill. Madam Clerk, next.
Clause 1.
Honorable Chair. Clause 1.
No amendments on clause 1.
Thank you, honorable members. There being no amendments on clause 1, I propose to put a question that clause 1 be part of the bill. As many as of the opinion say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it, and now put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Honorable Chair, could you please approach the chair? Yes, Chair.
Thank you very much. I know the members are wondering why we are moving so fast. We actually don't have any amendment on the bill. The figures that were read on the report tally with what we have in the bill. They match word by word, figure by figure. So we don't have any amendments, and that is why we have moved a little bit faster. So just check the figures that we read on the report with what we have on the bill. They're just the same. Thank you very much. I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Appropriation Bill 2024, that is the County Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024, and its approval therefore without any amendments. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Honourable members, I now put the question that the committee do report to the House on its consideration of the Appropriation Bill 2024, County Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024, and its approval thereof without amendment. As many as of the same opinion say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Honorable members, Madam Speaker.
Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Appropriation Bill 2024, County Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024, and approved the same without any amendments. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Appropriation Bill, that is County Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024, and its approval therefore without any amendments, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable members, the Kisumu County Supplementary Appropriation Bill, having been read for the first and second time, I propose the question that the House do agree with the committee on the said report. And I put a question that the House agree with the said report, and may as many of the opinion say aye. May as many of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. And I want to honorable members, the bill being a money bill, the standing orders allows us to do the stages in one sitting, and because it's already in the order paper, I don't want to direct that it be considered for third reading. So members, I just want us to move directly to the third reading of the bill. Next order.
Order number 9, the Kisumu County Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2024, the third reading.
Honorable Jackie.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2024, that is County Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024, be now read a third time, Madam Speaker. And I also request Honorable Setho Kumu to second. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I second that the bill be read for a third time.
Clerk.
A bill for an act of County Assembly of Kisumu to authorize the issue of certain sums of money out of the County Revenue Fund and the application towards the services of the year ending on the 30th June 2024, and to appropriate those sums for certain public services and purposes is now read a third time.
Honorable members, the Kisumu County Supplementary Appropriation Bill, having been read a third time, I want to propose a question of debate that the bill be debated upon, and I open it for any further debate and deliberations by the House. Honorable members, silence means members are satisfied with the report that was laid and there are no further deliberations on the bill. I want to propose that someone calls the mover to reply.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I call the mover to reply.
Madam Speaker, going by the mood of the House, it's like we have a concurrence on the Kisumu County Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024, Madam Speaker, and we know that the whole county is on a standstill based on the fact that the supplementary budget has been dragging so long within the premises of the Assembly. And therefore, Madam Speaker, I equally want to thank the members for having gone through this document together. I want to thank the committee also. We know we are behind schedule, Madam Speaker, and therefore I also want to thank the Office of the Speaker and the Clerk, who have also been very supportive, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I know that once we are dispensed with this document, we also have other documents that are pending within the committee, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also want to notify the House that the process of working on the estimates is already on, and the new budget, the process is on, and I want members to already start thinking of the priorities as per what they had in the public participation. Remember, we are working on the CFSP, Madam Speaker. These are documents that will inform what we have on the estimates. And therefore, I think it is very timely that we dispense with the supplementary budget today so that we move on to other important documents that we have before us here. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. The mover having replied, I want to put a question of adoption that may, as many are of the opinion that the Appropriation Bill 2024, that is the Kisumu County Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024, be adopted, say aye. May, as many of the contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes have it. And the Kisumu County Appropriation Bill, that is the County Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024, stands adopted today, Wednesday, 20th March 2024 at 9:44 hours. And I want to direct that the report plus the answer together with the vellum be prepared and forwarded to the respective department. That is to the governor for assent. Thank you. Next order.
Order number 10, motion. Adoption of a report of Lands, Housing, Physical Planning and Urban Development Committee on the status of operations of municipalities in Kisumu County.
Honorable Boyton.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I arise to move a motion on report on the status of operations and of conferred municipalities in Kisumu County. Madam Speaker, I am pleased to present this comprehensive report on the site visits conducted by the Sectorial Committee on Lands, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development to establish the status of operations of the newly conferred municipalities within Kisumu County. That is Ahero, Awasi, Kombewa, Bodi, Maseno, Holo, Katito, Papunditi, and Chemelil, Muhoroni. The site visits were conducted between 10th to 13th January 2024, after which the committee proceeded for report writing on the same in Homa Bay County. These site visits were undertaken as part of commitment to ensuring effective governance and sustainable development within Kisumu County. The objective was to gain first-hand insight into the current state of affairs in each municipality, focusing on key aspects such as land use planning, physical infrastructure, housing, and overall urban development. Our engagement with the boards of the municipalities and the municipal managers provided us with valuable information regarding the challenges and opportunities faced by each municipality. These reports sum up our collective observations, assessment, and recommendations for each municipality, aiming to serve as a blueprint for informed decision-making and policy formulation. It is our hope that the insight provided herein will guide future initiatives, foster sustainable growth, and enhance the quality of life for the residents of this municipality and Kisumu County as a whole. I now extend my gratitude to the committee members and the Secretariat for their dedication and collaborative efforts throughout this undertaking. I would also like to express appreciation to the boards of the municipalities and the municipal managers who generously shared their perspective and contributed to the success of this endeavor. Madam Speaker, we have terms of references for this report. One is objective of the site visits. One of the objectives of the site visits is to assess the current status of land use planning, physical infrastructure, housing, and overall urban development in each of the municipalities within Kisumu County. 2 was to identify challenges, opportunities, and best practices in urban development within the municipality. The second terms of reference was scope of assessment, where one, we have to examine the state of physical infrastructure, including roads, utility, and public amenities. 2, assess the availability and affordability of housing options for residents. And 3, evaluate the overall urban development strategies and their impact on the community. The third term of reference was stakeholders engagement, where we have 2. 1, conduct interviews and consultations with the municipal authorities, local government officials, community representatives, and relevant stakeholders. Number 2, gather feedback on the challenges faced by each municipality and identify priorities. The fourth term of reference is capacity building and resources, where we have to establish whether members of the board have been trained. 2, evaluate the capacity of municipal authorities in planning, managing, and implementing urban development projects. And the last one is to assess the availability of resources and funding for urban development initiatives. The achievements of the board members since the assumption of the office. Madam Speaker, may I now take members through each and every municipality that were visited. And I here start with Ahero Awasi municipality. Madam Speaker, challenges that faced Ahero Awasi municipality are as follows. 1, all the culverts on the market access drainage points were constructed higher than the drainage channel, thereby blocking the free flow of water. The second challenge was 2 major buildings which were erected on top of the main drainage channel, hence blocking the drainage system within the town. Third challenge is 2 main access roads within the market were ripped off a year ago to allow free flow of flooding water, yet their exits are tunnel blocked by aforementioned poorly constructed culverts and the 2 buildings standing on the way of the originally designed drainage path. Challenge number 4, the strategic plan for Ahero town had been completed, but the consultant fee of about 20 million yet to be paid by the county government. There is a link road, that is number 5. There is a link road within the market which is not complete and causing blockage of liquid waste. The next number of traders were doing their businesses on top of sewer line, having abandoned their stalls within the market. The next challenge, most drainage end up in the river Nyando, hence posing health hazard, health risk downstream. And the last challenge that Ahero Awasi municipality is faced with is the county government has not deployed staff to the municipality, save the manager, Stephen Sule, who really demonstrated that he is up to the task. The absence of the deployed staff is against the Gazette notice dated 13th October 2023, and it is annexed there. Recommendation, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, based on the foregoing findings from Ahero Awasi municipality, The committee recommends to this House to resolve as follows. 1. The committee recommends that the county government deploy staff to all conferred municipality in Kisumu County with immediate effect in accordance with the Gazette notice dated 13th October 2023. Number 2, that all the culverts on the market access be reconstructed to allow free flow of water. Recommendation number 3, that an investigation on the professionalism of constructing the culverts be conducted, and in case they were not executed as per professional recommendation, then legal action must be preferred on the offenders. And recommendation number 4 is that the Kisumu County Waste Management and Climate Change Policy be enforced. Madam Speaker, I'm done with Ahero Awase. I go to Maseno Holo Municipality. 1, I want to give you background information on Maseno Holo Municipality. Challenges faced by the Maseno Holo Municipality. The committee established the following challenges in Maseno Holo Municipality. 1, delay in setting up and implementation of operational structures in the municipality management. Then the second challenge was lack of proper planning on identified areas of basic needs or necessities for service delivery. The board identified the following areas as lacking in facilities that needed to be established for effective service delivery to the populace of Maseno and the market centers. 1, water and sanitation problem, as many areas lack access to clean water. Number 2, preparation required for the PDPs for market upgrades. Number 3, purchase of land required for cemetery or crematorium, a stadium, emergency response center, and fire station. Another challenge that they pose to us is very poor drainage system within the municipality and the market centers, followed by unavailability of affordable housing, especially for the 24,000 plus students within the municipality. There is also congestion within the town due to encroachments. We also realize that there are no street lights, which has led to insecurity in that municipality. And lastly, no plan for liquid and solid waste management. Part C, a schedule for induction and training for board members. This is need for capacity building for members of the board. There is also delay in the presentation of the integrated plan for the municipality. This one is also has also affected Ahero Awase, the integrated plan for the 2 municipalities. And lastly, the issue of cross-border conflict. We realize that there is a lot of cross-border conflict within the municipality. Allow me now to go to Katito Papunditi municipality. Key achievements since inception of this municipality. 1, the board has held 2 meetings to deliberate on market cleanliness and upscaling revenue collection within the municipality. Number 2, the board has secured a partnership with World Vision to operationalize modern toilets within Katito market. And number 3, the board had been holding stakeholders engagement forums that resulted in formation of Katito Pap Onditi Municipality Development Committee to assist in collection of views from the public for intervention by the board. And lastly, the last achievement is that they had succeeded in creation of 5 subcommittees consisting of 1 member of the board and 4 members from the development committee to help in identifying projects areas to be put in comprehensive strategic plan for the municipality. Challenges that are faced by Katito Papunditi municipality. 1, lack of garbage collection and general market cleanliness is really one thing. 2, poor drainage and poor liquid waste management in the markets. 3, lack of land for purposes of putting up municipal offices and other expansion programs. 4, non-budgetary allocation to operationalize municipality. 5, delayed deployment of staff to the municipality, followed by poor road network within the municipality. Last but not least, lack of constant or reliable water supply within the municipality. And lastly, the last challenge standing there is lack of remuneration for the board members. Moroni Chemelil Municipality. Observation by the Committee on Moroni Chemelil Municipality. 1, the municipality currently doesn't have a master plan for the development, but only the physical development plans that were developed by the KISIP during the land tenure regularization for the informal settlement within Moroni. 2, in regards to housing, there are houses in Tamu whose rents are still being collected by Revenue Department, but no proper records for this. 3, there is poor infrastructure within the municipality. 4, the municipality is currently partnering with different players to realize their objectives. 5, the municipality is having an administrational office which was used by the defunct town council. And lastly, the municipality is currently partnering with the UN Habitat and European Union to develop community-led social housing within the 2 formal settlements. Madam Speaker, the last one was Semebodi, and apparently we were told that Semebodi had not been put in place, so we did not make a visit to the municipality. General challenges faced by the municipality. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, one of the challenges that cut across is delay in operational structures set up. And honorable Speaker and honorable members, in most of the municipality, there was notable delays in establishing and implementing operational structures. The boards are encountering obstacles in setting up the required staffing levels as outlined in the onogram for the operational structure. This delay hinders the board ability to function effectively. As revenue streams and functional control mechanism remain unrealized, despite the directive in the gazettement by His Excellency the Governor, instructing the transfer of necessary functions to the municipality from October 2nd, 2023, in accordance with the Schedule 4, Part 2 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, the full implementation is yet to materialize. That is annexed in the Governor's Directive. The second general challenge is social amenities. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the inadequate provision of social amenities in the municipality is an hindrance to the residents' quality of life, affects overall community well-being. And we also have delays in presentation of integral municipal plans. Third one is clear guidelines on remuneration of the board members. The board members are already in office, so to speak, but how they are enumerated, no clear guidelines. Number 4, lack of training for the board members. And lastly, some of the municipalities are yet to be properly constituted pursuant to Section 14 of the Urban Areas and Cities Act of 2011. Committee recommendations. The committee recommends as follows: that the directive, that is number 1, that the directives in the gazettement by His Excellency the Governor instructing the transfer of necessary functions to the municipalities from October 2nd, 2023, in accordance with the Schedule 4, Part 2 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, be implemented immediately upon adoption of this report, and a report on the same be submitted to this assembly within a period of 21 days upon adoption of this report. Recommendation 2 is that the County Executive Committee member for Land, Physical Planning and Housing and Urban Development organize and facilitate training for all the board members and managers of the municipality within a period of 60 days upon adoption of this report. Recommendation 3 states that the County Executive Committee member fast track the integrated development plans for all the municipalities for compliance with Section 9(3)(b) of the Urban Areas and Cities Act. The report to be submitted to this assembly within a period of 90 days upon adoption of this report. And recommendation number 4 is that the County Executive Committee member ensure that all the municipalities have capacity for effective waste disposal as envisioned in Section 9(3)(1) of the Urban Areas and Cities Act of 2011. Recommendation 5 states that the County Executive Committee member assess the status of infrastructural facilities in all the municipalities and ensure that there is compliance with Section 9(3)(h) of the Urban Areas and Cities Act 2011, which requires the municipalities to have infrastructural facilities, including but not limited to street lighting, markets, and fire stations. And lastly, the County Executive Committee member for Land, Physical Planning and Urban Development submit names of nominees for the position of board members for the municipalities which are yet to be properly constituted. In that regard, I think it's talking about semi-body which still lack, which has still not yet been put in place. Madam Speaker and honorable members, may I now call upon, I realize Honorable Kumudo did not sign this adoption schedule, so Honorable Kumudo, I saw you nodding. I now call upon Honorable James Omolo, the able Vice Chair, to second the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Order, Honorable Komudo, you cannot amend the report on the floor of the House. Honorable James Omolo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as I second this motion, Madam Speaker, we have municipalities which are conferred, but I think the functions need to follow them. and with adequate funding. I think that is one of the recommendations so that they be operational. If this is done, I think we'll do a great job to this county, and it will be for the future benefit of this county. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to second.
Honorable members, a motion on the adoption of the report of lands, housing, physical planning, and urban development on the status of operations of municipalities in Kisumu County has been moved and seconded. I therefore want to propose a question of debate, that the motion be now open for debate. Honorable Ajumbo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for recognizing the gender amidst the two gentlemen. Madam Speaker, I want to stand by supporting the report by the Planning Committee. It's a very elaborate report, a very good report. As the chair was reading, I was trying to make a few notes on the said municipalities. I made some things on Ahero, not things, some notes on Ahero municipality. Many of us have been to Ahero municipality. We've driven through and even eaten in that famous hotel in Ahero. I've also realized that indeed there's a road that was started but was not completed. It is quite visible to everyone when you drive through Ahero town. You're not sure which is the town. You don't know. There's a lot of confusion in Ahero town. And I want to recommend the committee. I want to commend the committee for coming out with a site visit, because they were able to identify the real challenges on the ground. They've made a very good report, because when you look at the challenges, not just on Ahero, but you look at even Maseno, Holo, and Katito, Paponditi. I don't want to pick them one by one, because we all need to talk. But I want to say generally the municipalities, when you look at the report from the Planning Committee, it's more or less they're having same challenges. They have poor drainage systems, and a major problem that is facing municipality, Madam Speaker, is the problem of land. You realize most of our municipalities are built on very small, it covers a very small area of the land, and it is in the rural areas. So you may find there's a municipality right behind a market, somebody has a home, and homes are surrounding the municipalities. So it means that there's a very big problem with the land, and the next thing that would happen is now the stakeholders. The municipalities will have a lot of challenges, because when you're going to ask the land owners to move out of their towns, it will bring a very big problem. So there's so much work to be done in the capacity, in informing the people that live around the municipalities. Another challenge that I saw with the municipalities from the report is the challenge of course, they mentioned the cemetery, because of there's no proper land, there's no enough land to even construct a cemetery. But again, we cannot talk of a cemetery, yet some other municipalities have not even been formed. I can see Katito Paponditi municipality have already started their meetings. They have even formed subcommittees, meaning they are on course, they are going. I've seen a very big problem with the municipalities. And what I can say, Madam Speaker, there are good plans that were developed for the municipalities. There's a lot of political goodwill, a lot of support coming from the governor, a lot of support from the members of the county assembly, and a lot of support from the county executives for the municipalities to take off. But Madam Speaker, we have a lot of challenge because of the implementation status. If now out of the municipalities, some municipality board have not even sat, they have not even been gazetted, it means that we still have a lot of work to do as members of the county assembly. Finally, Madam Speaker, I just want to make a correction from the Planning Committee. You have mentioned semi-body municipality. It is not semi-body, it is Kombewa body municipality. So you can make that correction. I want to support the report. And Madam Speaker, let us not keep it in the briefcase. We hope very soon the board will take off. Recently, there was a cry from board members. They were to meet in Safari Park Hotel in Nairobi. Many of them arrived in Nairobi. Some were on their way. Others arrived in Nairobi with buses, whatever they used. But there was a lot of cry, Madam Speaker, because as soon as some of them arrived in Nairobi, they were called and told the meetings has been cancelled. So, Madam Speaker, I think sometimes we need to get serious. If we want to start inviting board members and you arrive in Nairobi and you're told there's no meeting, then it means we still have a lot of challenges with this municipality. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable James Were.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also rise to support this noble report. And Madam Speaker, I want to congratulate the Planning Committee for having come with this good report. Madam Speaker, when there were plans that cities and municipalities were being introduced, it was a noble plan. And Madam Speaker, this plan was in place so that the services could be devolved further to our people. Madam Speaker, the Constitution, the 2010 Constitution brought devolution. And the devolution was to devolve services further to our people. And with the formation of these municipalities, Madam Speaker, Kisumu County was gearing towards providing or taking services to the people to their doorsteps. And Madam Speaker, we know that creation of municipalities was going to come with a lot of advantages. Through those municipalities, we were able even to attract some donor funding, which was going to be a positive aspect towards our people. Creation of employment opportunities. And Madam Speaker, when those municipalities are just created and they are dormant without being operational, it is a concern to all of us. And Madam Speaker, I want to implore to this Honorable House to ensure that we put the executive to task so that these municipalities can be operationalized, so that our people can get the service that they were intended to give. So that as much as sometimes we compete among the little or the meager resources that we have, we could have a possibility of having some people or having some donor funding from elsewhere. Madam Speaker, as I sit down and as I support this report, let us put our executive to task to ensure that whatever we passed in this Honorable House is implemented to the letter. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Kennedy Oko.
Is it working? Oh, yes. Sinafanya? Okay. Thank you. For one, I would like to commend the committee for at least bringing some report to the assembly. At least we for one, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, we had the towns before these municipalities. All of a sudden, somebody just woke up and decided to do away with the towns, and now we are talking about municipalities. It is quite unfortunate that if we can just go that way without proper planning, we will fail. Most of these municipalities are in papers. They don't appear physically. Go to Body, Market. But Body, there's nothing holding, there's no report touching on Body in terms of what has been done, what they expect to do, and such kind of things. Now, talk about Holo. Apart from Maseno, which was once a town. Holo, there's nothing going on. Not even the board members have come to Holo to visit and see what is happening in Holo, because I represent that area. This is why we are saying these municipalities are in paper form. I don't know whether we have budget for this. I come from this assembly, and if we have the budgets, already they were budgeted for. Why don't we see some action? Why don't we see some kind of development going on down there? I think we should not be so overambitious on the kind of projects or the kind of initiatives we should be having on the ground. Why do I say so? Before we talk about fire stations in Maseno, let us talk about basic necessities like access, like healthcare, like supply of clean water. These are the most basic things we should be talking about before coming with ambitious projects which we will not attain. Lady Speaker, when we see the representation of the board, Maseno Holo is composed of two wards, North Ward and West Ward. The western part of it, there is no representation from this area. I thought the committee would go and investigate the representation, because that one is also very important. How can you belong to an entity and you are not represented in such kind of entities? We are not represented as West Ward. We had complained about this, and I thought the committee would go there and come with this. They never came up with this. I don't know the situation in Ahero and such kind of places. That is very clear. Now, there's what we call, there were some challenges in Maseno Holo. One of them is a lack of planning, proper planning. Who are the board members? Does it mean they are incompetent? If they don't have any plan, then why are they in the office? These are some of these questions we should be asking ourselves. Why do we entertain people taking a lot of allowances, but they don't have any planning? For any project to take place, there must be a planning first, and the planning itself is not there. Why are these people here? Are they in the office for the sake of municipalities, or are we targeting some money from the World Bank? That is quite unfortunate. Even if we are given that money from the World Bank and we don't have any planning, we will fail in whatever we want to do. Honorable members, may I ask you to stand tall to be counted so that we oversight these matters, or else we'll fail on our duties. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Mr. Many thanks, Honorable Komudo.
Thank you, Honorable Madam Speaker. Many thanks to my fellow colleagues, honorable members. Once more, I am privileged this morning to stand in front of you, as now I wish to report the very noble, quite recommendable report by my very able Committee of Planning. Honorable Madam Speaker, together with the members, in immediate response to my colleague who has just spoken before me, it's very important that we get the factors detailed in the report very well, and it's clearly detailed. I wish Honorable Ouko is in the House to listen to some of the queries he has just raised. These are well captured in the report very well. Honorable Madam Speaker, with the members, it is very clear as we speak today that the board members are yet even to earn any single penny. And honestly speaking, for any member, and especially honorable member, to allege that the board members are earning some income and they are not delivering. Honorable Madam Speaker, with the members of this honorable house, like a colleague of mine mentioned before, the situation that goes on with the so-called municipality is actually just in terms of names. We had a very rare and very disappointing and quite embarrassing situation just a couple of days, or call it a couple of weeks ago, when we had a fully planned safari, and a majority of us, being what we are, had even secured the air tickets that we are ready to go and attend the noble event at the safari park. Honorable Madam Speaker, together with the members, you will not believe, like it was put with my colleagues here, that the thing was cancelled last minute. Even some of us were just embarking from the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in Nairobi. To date, we are wondering how we are going to recover the expenses that we incurred, of even the air tickets and all that came with it in cases of the shortcomings that came in. Today, we speak of the municipalities. This is a very good English, and it's a very good language that we are putting here. We would wish this report to be adopted immediately so that these things, His Excellency the Governor may actually realize his good dream that he had, possibly within his term as he finishes his last term. Again, we have to actually acknowledge that as we speak today, none of these board members have been taken for orientation. Like I mentioned, the thing collapsed, and as we speak today, it remains a moribund situation. Indeed, if we were to go and to be honored and even to be asked as the representatives in charge of the oversight back from the areas, and especially somebody like myself who comes from Moroni Chemelil municipality, Honorable Madam Speaker, together with the members, I have got no answer. It is a big shame. It's a big shame. It is high time we get to adopt this report so that the recommendations inside it may be taken into action immediately. I'll finish by calling upon the implementation committee, the very, very able implementation committee, the very, very capable. Please, you are letting us down in this house. Come up and make sure that the implementations of this thing, we are adopting quite a number of very good reports, but they are just going to waste. We are adopting wonderful reports in this house, but indeed, they are going to the shelves to gather dust. Many, many thanks, Honorable Madam Speaker. Many, many thanks once more to honorable members, and I wish to support the adaptation of this report immediately like yesterday. Thank you.
Honorable Millicent Omoya.
Yeah, Madam Speaker, thank you. First, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the committee for the splendid job that they did. As much as I'm congratulating them, I personally am not at peace with myself. What are the reasons? Through the report, when it was being read, it came out that Seme was never visited, the Kombewa body municipality. What were the reasons? Because the board was not in place. I personally thought or felt like it was just important that the committee had to go and visit and do a report. So the chair, I'm still requesting that you people make efforts and do as a report. You know, nowadays people are watching the proceedings online. Kindly allow me to get something that I can give back to my people. Because like everybody would like to know that how is Seme faring on with the issue of municipality? What am I going to tell my people? And with the look of things, I'm suspecting that there's some fault in the Department of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. And I'm humbly requesting that if it is possible, kindly let us invite the minister so that we can be in a position to know what is happening, and in case we can help him as an assembly to spearhead the process of operationalization of the municipality. Because when we look at time, time is moving. Now we are in 2023, 24. Elections were done in 2022. How many years are we remaining with? And it is important that we invite him, and if possible, let us work with the timeline. Because if we don't peg timeline on everything that we are doing, then we shall not be in a position to achieve anything. Because it will be just a story today, tomorrow, and forever. I want to say that I'm supporting the report, and my request should be taken into consideration. Thank you so much.
Honorable Nyauke.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to first commend the committee for planning for giving us this report. As my colleague said, at least we have some basis on the discussion about the same. Madam Speaker, practical thinking about the challenges that have been listed by the Committee of Planning. These are some of the challenges that we often meet in our wards, particularly now that I come from Katito and Papondite municipality. Madam Speaker, the question they ask on a daily basis is that now that Katito and Papondite are municipalities, what is the difference that are we able to see going on? Because, Madam Speaker, nothing actually is taking place in those municipalities. And Madam Speaker, if you look at all the challenges, you find almost all the recently created municipalities are having a similar or related challenges, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when a president gives a directive that I want this and that to be done, Madam Speaker, we expect the staff that are being put in place by the said president to make sure that they take and follow the instructions of the boss, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, His Excellency Professor Peter Nyong'o, the governor of this great county of Kisumu, gave a directive on 13th of October 2023. Madam Speaker, and the Gazette notice that he gave at that particular day reads in part that all the functions outlined in Schedule 4, Part 2 of the Constitution, including the attendant staff, budget and assets are hereby transferred from the respective county departments to the city and the municipalities with effect from the 2nd October 2023. Madam Speaker, that one was a very clear directive, in fact gazetted directive. Madam Speaker, the CEC for planning is better placed to tell us why he is unable to put this directive into practice, Madam Speaker. Should there be any difficulty that they are facing, they need to tell us. And I expected that they should have told the committee that by now the committee should have been aware exactly why, what is the reason why this directive has not been put in place. Madam Speaker, I'm sure where Professor sits, he believes and trusts that the directive he gave on October 2023 has been put in place, Madam Speaker. He has got every reason to believe so. Madam Speaker, if we don't come to his assistance to make sure that this directive has been followed to the latter, Madam Speaker,
we will be letting our governor down. Madam Speaker, with this report being before us, there is now, it is now a property of the assembly now. We expect the implementation committee to take over this issue. We want this directive followed to the letter. Madam Speaker, it is just a brief paragraph, but it means all, for all the actions to take place, Madam Speaker. I therefore pray that we adopt this report and again pray that the implementation committee takes this work appropriately and we have these municipalities put into use. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to support.
Honorable Billy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. For giving me this chance. Madam Speaker, I want to commend the committee for work well done. If you look at the report, it is giving us a clear picture of the municipalities that we have and how every municipality is faring on. Madam Speaker, as I support, I want to ask us that really do we meet the standards of having the municipalities? Madam Speaker, most of these municipalities, they were towns. And if you look at the threshold, rather the things that we should look at for us to have a municipality, one is the population. Did we really meet the population for these towns to be called municipalities? Another thing is having an integrated plan. Madam Speaker, from the report you can clearly see some of the towns. I'm told from the report I see Ahero, there's a written report that is not functional yet because the person who wrote the report has not been paid yet. Yet we want to say we have a municipality. Another thing to look at is do they have a demonstrable capacity to generate revenue to sustain itself? I think some of the municipalities are not yet there to collect enough revenue to sustain themselves. So I still believe some of them will be depending on the county budget always. And another thing, Madam Speaker, if you look at the infrastructure, because that is a main thing that should be looked at for us to call an area that this is a municipality. The other time we had some report here telling us that nearly all the lights that we have in Kisumu County are failing. And from that time, I have not seen any other report telling us that they were repaired. Now it's around 1 year down the line, the lights are not repaired. And we still want to proudly say we have municipalities. From the report, you can also see that waste disposal is also an issue. So I want to urge us, or rather say, that if you look at the governor's address the other time, and if you look at the governor's manifesto, it is a very good manifesto. But that manifesto, the dream the governor has for Kisumu County, is being failed by the people occupying offices. Because you realize the governor is ahead of his county. Everything that he's saying is ahead of what is happening on the ground. So, Madam Speaker, I want to urge us, let us look at this report deeply and work on ways that we can improve our county. It is good to have municipalities because one, employment will be there for our people. We can also get funds from donors to improve our areas. And the growth of towns will also improve how the people around that area, even their businesses. But I still don't agree that we meet the standards, or most of these municipalities meet the standard of being called municipalities. So I just want to say that let us not move ahead of what is on the ground, because on paper, we are so much ahead. But what is in the ground, clearly, those are towns, those are not municipalities. So to meet the standards of municipalities, let the department work on improving all the areas that I've mentioned so that we can proudly say that we have municipalities. I support.
Honorable Benny.
Madam Speaker, the committee in charge decided to go for fact-finding on the implementation of the towns and the municipalities as was established by the county government of Kisumu. Madam Speaker, this exercise started 2021-2022 when they were conferred the town municipality status and they have their managers. Madam Speaker, there is the Gazette notice here that was signed on 2nd day of October 2023, that is last year. As per the content of the Gazette, Kenya Gazette notice, it means the county government of Kisumu is going to start the process in full swing. The governor has instructed that all the functions outlined in Schedule 4, Part 2 of the Constitution, including the attendant staff, budget, and assets, be and are hereby transferred from the respective county departments to the city and the municipalities. And Madam Speaker, from this Gazette notice, it looks there was no proper budget that had been done for this exercise before October last year. And we are starting the budget cycle. So the committee should be keen to find out with the department the arrangements they have put in place to realize this. That is what we should be keen on now. The budget matters they have put in place to realize the instruction the governor has given as per the Kenya Gazette, Madam Speaker. You know, when a project begins, there are the ups and the downs. But the good thing, there's the Kenya Gazette giving the instructions. So let us be keen on the coming budget, what the executive has done to make the towns and the cities be realized fully. Because without proper budget implementation, it will still take time for our towns and cities to be fully functional. Madam Speaker, that is the little I will contribute on this matter. Otherwise, the attempt was good, but the Kenya Gazette notice signed by the governor tells us all. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Karen.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Judging by the mood of the House, may I call the mover to reply?
Honorable Boyton.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, one important thing that I need to let this House know is that the committee went out of its ways to do a fact-finding about this municipality. And the report that they have come up with has already been praised by some members, is on the table. Madam Speaker, I want to reiterate what Honorable Hajumbu said here, and it is quite evident in the report that one, Ahero town is not properly organized. Ahero town is a town whereby when you you will never know when you are getting into town or going out of the town or whether you are in town itself. And the recommendation is properly outlined in our report. Madam Speaker, Honorable Millicent Omuya and Honorable Ken Oko talked about board of Kombewa body municipality not being in place. The information that we were given when we wanted to make a visit was that the board was not in place. If you as a committee is told that the board is not in place, what do? You suspend. You cannot go to a non-existing board. Whom are you going to meet and what are you going to discuss? And I want to let Honorable Millicent Omuya to make note of that. And that is why we did not visit that municipality. Madam Speaker, there's an honorable member who said that we would rather revert back to town. The conferment of this municipality was brought in this honorable house. And the same honorable members approved that report. It is now absurd that the same honorable member will stand today and say that the municipalities have not met the threshold. We need to be keen on what we are saying, Madam Speaker. We conferred these municipalities last year. And that brings to a question that some of the honorable members approve and pass reports without looking at those reports properly. Madam Speaker, these are now municipalities, and what we want to look into is their operationalization, not reverting back to small towns. You all agree with me, Madam Speaker and honorable members, that the municipalities were born the other day, and the board came into existence on 20th December 2022. Through a gazette notice of 13th October 2022. The board is barely 6 months old. And I want to appeal to honorable members that we give them time, monitor their work. That is when maybe that part of the area was not considered into constitution of the board. Madam Speaker, that was not within our mandate, and I think the appointment committee approved the names that were brought into the floor of the house for the creation of that board. I believe if there was any problem, then the appointment committee would have detected and rectified at that particular time. Nevertheless, if there is any concern, I believe the department will make a follow-up. Madam Speaker, honorable member talked about threshold. Just as I said earlier, that before conferment of these municipalities, all the factors were taken into consideration. That include population, integrated plans, of course, which some municipalities have already have them in place, but the consultants have not been paid, and the ability to generate revenue were all demonstrated by this municipality. That cumulated into conferment. These municipalities, we all believe, that are created for service delivery to the people of Kisumu. And service delivery is the key word here. I believe as an oversight authority,
we will put to task the Department of Lands, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development to make sure that this municipality are not paperwork but made operationalized. Honorable Eko talked about the budget allocation for the municipalities. This is very key. The municipalities, the 5 conferred municipalities, all of them were lamenting, claiming that there's no allocation, budgetary allocations for them. And I will urge the department to make sure that each and every municipality get a certain amount of budget so that they are operationalized. And on the same note, Madam Speaker, we believe there are some funding from the donor communities. This, if achieved, or if the municipalities get this kind of donors funding, then it will also save us as a county, because the monies that would have been put to operationalize this municipality somehow will have been catered for by the donor funding. I believe the recommendation given herein will be followed to the latter. And the implementation committee has been mentioned quite a number of times that upon expiry of the time limit that is given by the recommendation by the committee, they should take up the matter so that we realize our municipalities are not just municipality in theory, but municipality in practice. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I reply.
Honorable members, a motion on the adoption of the report by Lands, Housing, Physical Planning and Urban Development on the status of operations of municipalities in Kisumu County has been moved, seconded and discussed by this Honorable House. I therefore want to put a question of adoption that may as many of the opinion that the report be adopted say aye. May as many of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. And the report of the Lands, Housing, Physical Planning and Urban Development on the status of operations of municipalities in Kisumu County stands adopted today, 20th March 2024 at 10:52 hours. And I want to direct that the report, together with the answer, be prepared and forwarded to the same Department of Lands, Housing, Physical Planning for necessary action. And the implementation committee to make sure that the recommendations therein are implemented within the stipulated time. Honorable members, I want to remind us of the activities before us, that tomorrow, Thursday, there are proposed activities, that is with the sectors on the CSFP. We have 6 departments that will be meeting here tomorrow, and we ask the honorable members of the committees and the chairs to avail themselves for the sectoral meetings. That is, medical services will be meeting at 9 a.m. at the chambers. Administration of Law, Justice, and Constitutional Affairs will also be meeting their department at 9, that is between 9 to 11 in Committee Room 1. Water, Environment, and Natural Resources will be meeting their department at 11 up to 1 in Committee Room 1. Agriculture, Fisheries, Livestock and Development and Irrigation will also be meeting their department between 11 to 1 at the chambers. ECD, Education and Vocational Training, will be meeting their department between 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. in the chambers. Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development will be meeting their department between 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. in Committee Room 1. That is tomorrow. And honorable members, we are also reminded of the public participation on CSFP that is scheduled for Friday. 2 sub-counties are listed for Friday, that is Seme and Northwest. We are reminded that North Seme will be meeting Kisumu West. We have Seme sub-county and Kisumu West sub-county. North Seme Ward will be meeting at Harambe Chiefs Camp between 9 to 12. Central Seme will be meeting at Kombewa Chiefs Camp between 9 to 12. East Seme will be meeting at Kitmikai Social Hall, 9 to 12. West Seme will be meeting at Manywanda Chiefs Camp, 9 to 12. Kisumu West, we have West Kisumu meeting at Yambo Resource Center at 9 to 12. Southwest Kisumu, Obambo Chiefs Camp, 9 to 12. Kisumu Central, Bright Light Community Hall, 9 to 12. And finally, Northwest Kisumu meeting at Lela Resource Center, 9 to 12. And finally, Northward meeting at Nyaera Chiefs Camp at 9 to 12. Finally, honorable members, I want to remind us of a standing order, number 32, that brought some emotive debates at the beginning of our sitting. And I just want to refer us to standing order number 32, that when the quorum is not there, when the chair is taken, then the speaker shall order the bell to be rung for 5 minutes, the first 5 minutes. If quorum is not attained, then the bell will be rung further for another 5 minutes. And honorable members, before, just when the chair is taken, the speaker does not turn blind. The standing orders are very clear. And I just want to remind us of what we mean by quorum. Honorable members, quorum means the number of members that must be present for this assembly to transact lawfully. And being 47 members of us, honorable members, our quorum stands at 16 members, which is the third of our population. And honorable members, I just want to say, as I said before, that we must know that the provisions of the standing orders on the issue of quorum is pari materia with the provisions of Section 19 of the County Governments Act 2012, which binds this House to strict requirement of quorum. And since these provisions, honorable members, are an act of parliament, they are not provisions that can be suspended by a resolution of the county assembly or by amendment of these standing orders. Honorable members, the quorum rule is therefore mandatory, and this assembly is bound to strict observance, and no freedom is founded, honorable members, in law to adjust the rule depending on the number of members present within the presence of the assembly or on official duty. So, honorable members, there's no single day that we will allow this House to transact without attaining the right number of quorum. And I just want to ask honorable members that let these standing orders be our manual. It has become my second Bible. So when we read our standing orders, we will understand some of the provisions. And finally, honorable members, there was an issue on the papers laid. We borrow largely, honorable members, from our senior brothers of the National Parliament and the Senate. And if you've been following those proceedings, once papers are laid, because these papers emanate from the committee of the whole House, you don't see them being referred back from the committee of the House business. You don't see them being referred back to the committee of the House business, because that's where they came from. So, honorable members, it is good at times to follow and learn from our big brothers on some of these procedures. The fact that we've been following them some does not mean that we cannot adopt what is procedural, as long as they do not go against our standing orders and any law that this House has subscribed to. Otherwise, members, thank you for listening. Next order.
Madam Speaker and honorable members, there is no any other business in the order paper.
Honorable members, there being no any other business, this House stands adjourned until today, Wednesday, 20th, 2024 at 2:30 p.m.